Hello, I'm Kevin Church, and for this month, November 2022, we have Tim Falvey as our singer-songwriter of the month for our MUFIC channel. How you doing there, buddy?
I'm doing good, Kev. Good to see you again,
Good
man.
to see you too, man.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
sure has.
I saw you at the Edisto Boogie.
Only briefly. I wish I could have caught your performance.
Back at you, buddy.
Yeah, I had a good time with a duo partner of mine, wind instrumentalist Kevin Cheek, and
Oh, he's great, man.
yeah, hopefully you'll have him on the show at some point too.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
We love him. Let me ask you this. We always ask our folks where they got their musical influence or start from.
Yeah,
So what was yours? When did you get into music?
I first identified as a musician around the age of 19 as a college student.
Really?
Really? So in a way, a late start compared to a lot of our contemporaries.
Right. So tell me more about that.
Yeah, well, I grew up an athlete and an academic. Art was the farthest thing from my mind. As a college kid, I was hospitalized for mental illness.
Oh, really?
And during the tragic experience that came with that, music showed up while hospitalized. I found music to be an elixir for me. And now, a couple decades later, it has been a daily medicine for me.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, was someone a friend that played music, or was it what got you into songwriting or into
Certainly.
your journey?
Well, having seen and observed a couple of college classmates performing at an open mic night at the student union, I noticed they were having the time of their life. And so, right around that age, 19 or so, it just made sense that I would give it a whirl myself. It wasn't a particular friend, it wasn't a family member of mine. It was just the observation that I had that people were as alive as they could be while performing.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What a statement that is, man, that you just made. They're as live as they could be while on stage. That's so cool. So, noticing this, were you writing at the time? Were you?
I had been journaling a bit. I would say even prior to becoming a musician, I would have identified as a poet, definitely a writer, and at that time period, I thought it was helpful for me to be able to articulate my journaling, my poetry, and music was one way to do that.
And that's what inspired you to pick up what was your first instrument then?
Oh, definitely guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, acoustic guitar. And that's been my primary vehicle for delivering song and poetry for years and years and years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. And so I have a little history with you. I already know you a little bit because we've crossed paths over the years.
Yeah.
Performing some of the same places and talking off stage to each other and stuff, like in between. Tell our listeners about your journey, like how you were in the corporate realm and said, I'm done with this. Right. I'm just going to go play music. And you traveled for a while and everything.
Sure. The quickest way to become your truest self is to stop doing everything else. And I wanted to be a musician, and I wanted to very, very intentionally and intensely and purely develop as a musician. The best way I thought to do that was to leave everything and invest in making sounds. I had spent a decade in several different civil service type jobs after college, but around the 10-year point, I had started to perform live around Charleston, and the timing was right for me to leave my latest government service job, and just due to the stressors of career track cubicle work, and I had music there for me. And so very shortly after I left that job and started playing full time, I decided to take my guitar case and my Camelback around the country and ultimately to Europe.
Wow.
Just to expose myself to new places and people and smells and sights and sounds, and allow that to inform and sculpt my songwriting, allow that to sculpt my style of performance into what I believe it is today. I've always been a transient with 2 military parents. I always will be. But to bring a guitar and a set of harmonicas with you while you're traveling, that makes the travel even more lively.
And indeed it does. So let's keep going with this. So you traveled, you played, you sculpted, you pretty much created this true version of yourself because you stopped everything.
Yeah.
Right? And now you're a singer-songwriter traveling, and then you make it back to Charleston.
Yeah.
How long did it take you before you came back?
Before I came back quasi-permanently, so here and there I'll take trips.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I spent 3 years actively traveling, but a year and a half of that doing almost nothing but traveling with a guitar. I would come back to Charleston, touch home base, play some gigs.
Sure.
Then pick up the guitar case and Camelback and go out again. About a year and a half's worth of that.
Nice.
I've been sinking my teeth into the Charleston music community with focus for probably the last 3 years or so. Yep. Since my heavy duty travels.
Right. Because we knew each other. We met 5 years ago,
right.
Didn't we?
Yep.
Or more.
Yep.
So okay. So you went and did that. You've traveled, and now you're back, and you're in Charleston, and then you created this project. What is this project called? Tell our viewers.
Uncle Tim's Bench, where there's room for almost everyone. My heritage as a musician lies in street performing. When I first picked up the guitar as a college student, my first public performance was sitting on a park bench outside my dorm room, strumming at 10 o'clock at night with my baseball hat upside down to collect tips. Just because the bench was there, I wanted to make sounds, and I wanted to see if it created an effect. And it did. These days, my heritage and roots are still firmly ingrained in street performing. Park benches, subway tiles, street corners, and sidewalk squares. And it will always be the case. My favorite place in the world to perform is a very particular park bench on the boardwalk at Waterfront Park in Charleston, aptly named Uncle Tim's Bench. And that's a bit of a tribute to what I believe the role of an uncle, in my life anyway, was a welcoming storyteller. Mm-hmm. So hence Uncle Tim's Bench, and my entire original music project, whether it be as a solo performer, duo, trio, or full band, is an homage to my park bench. Hence Uncle Tim's Bench.
It's wonderful. So how many songs has Uncle Tim's Bench got now that
sure
has come from being out there?
Right. In my rotation during my gigs in the bars and restaurants, I'll mix in up to a dozen original songs. I would say that I probably have 15 to 20 songs that I think are worth recording in a studio setting with a full band. Some of those need some more refining over the next few years before they're ready for prime time, but I write prolifically, not always in the form of a musical composition.
Right.
Everything that I do write is intended to be delivered through song. But the pieces that I've written that I would consider complete songs, ready for prime time, that I perform actively around town, number about 15 that are worth hearing. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
That's great, man. All just by sitting there and gathering your thoughts and
I would say so, yeah.
And crafting this stuff together.
Yep. The seeds of my music are poetry that has captured experiences of mine or observations of mine, all of which have been chiseled and sculpted while street performing and in gigs and in open mics. But a lot of the pieces that you hear me play around town or that will be unfolded in a full band format at some point have been very, very truly refined on my park bench. Countless hours of busking.
Wow. So moving forward with Uncle Tim's Bench, you have now got a band together that you are working with, and you're calling yourselves that, correct?
We are calling ourselves Uncle Tim's Bench. I have collected a group of 4 men who I've come to trust over the years. A standard 5-piece band, the 5th being a wind instrumentalist. Gentlemen who are craftsmen as musicians, gentlemen who are passionate and alive as performers, and gentlemen who are trustworthy as human beings. We've recorded 1 single thus far as a full band to be released by the end of the year. Just filmed footage for a music video 2 days ago.
Wow, great.
So be on the lookout and keep your ear to the ground for that the next couple of months. The band, Uncle Tim's Bench, would be akin to the marriage of Counting Crows with Third Eye Blind.
Okay.
So whatever you get when the 2 of those come together into one is what you're going to hear when you're on Uncle Tim's Bench as a full band.
Love it. So what song should we be looking out for?
Okay, yeah, the first single released will be One Hit Wonder.
Wow.
I wrote the lyrics to that song in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Put it to music in around 2019.
All right.
I've been performing it actively with every single performance of mine around town since late 2019, and it's ready to be introduced to the world as Uncle Tim's Bench's first release.
That's great. So are you going to play that one for us today?
I sure am, yep.
Great. Well, I'm going to join you if you don't mind.
Yes. I would love that. Yes, sir. Awesome. All right, then.
Well, we enjoyed having you on today. You're amazing, man.
Thanks, man. Honored to be here.
Your stories are incredible. So we'll have to catch up some more.
You bet.
But here's Uncle Tim Falvey of Uncle Tim's Bench.
Step outside and smoke about it. Listen as you talk about it. Looking back, we joke about it. Bebop as I rock about it. Come inside and drink about it. I close my eyes and dream about it, honey. Do you ever think about it when you hear me scream about it? We were in one ear and right out the other. If you were lucky, I'm gonna reach you another. It doesn't even matter that you slipped me another penny lane. Just another one-hit wonder. In one ear and right out the other. If you were lucky, I'm gonna reach you another. It doesn't even matter that I still got your number, penny lane. Just another one-hit wonder. Rolling as I rock about it. Though we seldom talk about it, you hit it and I joke about it. Now we're talking as you talk about it. Slip outside to sip about it. I close my eyes and dream about it, honey. Do you ever think about it when you hear me scream about it? We were in one ear and right out the other. If you were lucky, I might have reached you another. It doesn't even matter that you slipped me another penny lane. Just another one-hit wonder. In one ear and right out the other. If you were lucky, I might have reached you another. It doesn't even matter that I still got you another penny lane. Just another one-hit wonder. Still holding hostage your stone-studded bracelet, a belated Christmas gift from your once best friend. Christmas salutations from an unhappy day after New Year. We're only 12 more months before the shit on lands. We were in one ear and right out the other. If you were lucky, I might have reached you another. It doesn't even matter that you slipped me another penny lane. Just another one-hit wonder. In one ear and right out the other. If you were lucky, I might have reached you another. It doesn't even matter that I still got you another penny lane. Just another one-hit wonder. Step outside and smoke about it. Listen as you talk about it. Looking back, we joke about it. Bebop as I rock about it.
MUFIC sets you free.